Hello everyone, Chris Martinson of Peak Prosperity here with your weekly update. It is Friday, December 22nd, 2017. We're almost out of 2017. So, Merry Christmas to those of you who celebrate that. Happy holidays to everybody else. Extraordinary time of year we're in right now, and I wish we could just lead here with a message of cheer and happiness and joy. That's what you're supposed to do in the holiday cycle. But there's so much going on right now that we're going to have to talk about. First, top of the list today is crypto crash. We're seeing Bitcoin, not just Bitcoin, but everybody on the list, all top 50 cryptocurrencies or digital currencies, more accurately because nothing crypto about them. You are found and discovered and known as soon as you execute one of those transactions. Of course, the digital currencies, the entire suite, just absolute bloodbath with 20, 30, even 40% losses on the day. Now, we're going to find out what kind of real damage has occurred. We've been hearing reports of people in Japan in particular taking out mortgages to participate in this speculative mania, not investing, speculative mania that attended Bitcoin, or more accurately, all the digital currencies. So we'll see how this shakes out. Hey, maybe it could have repaired itself by even the time you're watching this and everything's back up in green again. It's that volatile, but to this observer, it certainly looks like the pin has been found, the bubbles burst, and now we get to discover how much damage actually has happened. And the thing I'm worried about is that some of these exchanges that seem to have worked so well on the way up may break on the way down. We'll find out if there are losses above and beyond even just the normal losses you would expect for participating in a speculative bubble that bursts. So we'll find out. Don't know much about that. In other news, the United States increasingly feeling a little bit to me like what it must have been like after the peak in Roman times when the Roman bureaucrats were issuing increasingly draconian edicts as they failed to comprehend that their power was waning and that they were actually close to an open revolt. That's what I saw in the UN vote this past week, which was against the United States, which was had just recently recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, said, hey, we're moving our State Department from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Our embassy apparatus is moving. A bunch of countries voted against the United States. Only 8 voted with the United States. That would have been Honduras and Guatemala, 2 Central American countries with horrific current human rights abuses, and a bunch of Polynesian/Pacific islands, including Palau. Those are the people on our side. Voting against the United States includes all of old Europe. That was the UK, France, Germany, Italy, Spain, Ireland, Portugal, everybody voting against the United States in this. And of course, what was the response? Nikki Haley, UN ambassador for the United States, held a party for everybody who voted with the United States. You know, the rest of you are excluded. And Donald Trump threatened to cut off funding to the world. So really very just poor diplomacy on display. And you could feel the hubris of it, which was, how dare you vote against the United States? You know, it was just really something that's so tone deaf in this world that we live in right now. We're seeing as well the central bankers continue to freak out and try and maintain the equity markets, but that's for show. What's for dough? Bonds. Follow me over to the big world of bonds for a minute. Let's take a look. We're seeing huge outflows in bond funds. We're seeing interest rates begin to spike, including the most important interest rate I'm tracking right now, which is the LIBOR rate, is now at a 9-year high. Take a look at this chart. If this doesn't say something is going on to you, you need to understand what you're looking at. LIBOR is now up at a 9-year high. And by the way, what is LIBOR? That's the London Interbank Overnight Rate. This is the rate that a lot of things are set against, including possibly you might have an auto loan, or you might have a credit card interest payment, or you might have a mortgage, which are tied to the LIBOR rate. So that this is spiking means that all those rates are going up. The LIBOR is responsible for setting the interest rate for tens of trillions of dollars of outstanding loans, particularly variable rate loans, especially for those companies at the margin who are what we call junk companies, junk rated companies, they're all seeing their carrying costs start to rise. This is a really interesting chart, I think, worryingly. So let's keep an eye on this. I'm convinced that the last bubble that's going to be pricked, the last one that will be allowed to fall, is going to be the equity markets, but they have to come down. So check this out. We've got a brand new big two-parter, which is Dave Collins' year in review. It's the most astonishing romp through everything that happened in the past year in two major parts. One mostly economic and geopolitical, and the other one is looking at everything from the media to political correctness to even the Las Vegas shooting. So it's a big romp. It's our once-a-year review by Dave Collins. We're very proud to host it. It's fantastic. Grab several cups of coffee, take a couple of mornings because it's big. But everything you want to know about is in there. Dave Collins is a professor of chemistry at Cornell, so everything's researched, everything's referenced. There's nothing in here except things that can all be substantiated and backed up. Fantastic review. So check that out. I have a podcast with him as well up on that. It's just a great thing. And as well, please look at the piece I wrote on oil last week. I know oil, who cares? We're swimming in it. Not the case. There's so much to be talked about there, including it was just announced today that 2017 had the lowest discoveries of oil in the last 40 plus years, which we tack on, beating out only the next worst year, which was 2016, which beat out the next worst year before that, which was 2015. We now have 4 years, 2014, 15, 16, 17, of absolutely horrifically low oil discoveries. Trust me, people, this comes back to bite us. If you don't understand this particular part of the story, you're going to be surprised. You'll be blindsided. So with that, hey, come by the site, check that out. And remember, we still have the Seattle program is sold out, but we're holding summits in both San Francisco and in Portland. A few seats left in each if you want to come check those out. So follow the link there if you want to, peakprosperity.com/summit. Check those out. Absolutely fantastic romps through the data. You'll be glad you came. With that, I'm Chris Martinson. Have very, very merry holidays and Happy New Year if you don't catch me before then. All right. Bye-bye.